Unlike its NewQ cousin, this all-in-one stand and dock might actually have all the ports and features you need. Let's check it out. Stick around.
Let's go! Let's go into the Monroe world!
Hi everyone, Shane R. Monroe here. Now the clip-on dock isn't necessarily a new concept. After all, the NewQ Pro has been in this space for a little while. It's got enough ports to get you by. It's got a nice little flip-out kickstand. And sometimes you want something like this versus this big old cradle scenario. These little guys are pretty handy. You can just clip them to the back of your Steam Deck. They sit there and they can be there all the time. You don't have to constantly take them on and off because they're not intrusive. But these little guys just pop right on here. They don't block any vents or anything, and you just plug them in. And there you go. And you get a bunch of ports here at the top. Yeah, the kickstand takes care of the duties. There you go. Perfect, right? It all works out pretty well. But unfortunately, while it is good, it's missing a couple of things to make it the best it can possibly be. It's got some USB-A ports, it's got HDMI, it's got power in, and it does have an SD card slot on the side. Unfortunately, there's something kind of wrong with that. We'll look at that in a minute. But overall, this has been a pretty formidable dock, and the price is right, and most people seem to love this guy. But I think it's time for us to meet its big brother. Another clip-on type stand, definitely not your standard cradle docking station. Although the cradles do have a lot of ports and stuff, maybe we can meet somewhere in the middle with this Hagibis. Well, that's a terrible name, isn't it? I hope it's Hagibis or something. Let's open it up here and see what we got. Your standard manual telling you what you already know. Perfect. There's really nothing new here. And here it is. Hey, he's kind of big. Let's compare him against his little brother here. Yeah, he's a lot bigger. But then again, he's got a lot more going on top, and we're going to take a look at some of this stuff. But overall, it's pretty much the same design, same kind of kickstand, about the same weight, all the things that you might care about. And yeah, it definitely looks better. It's got a kind of sleek design on the back. I dig on that. But it's plastic, just like this is. It's plastic. Great upgrade here. But okay, so yeah, this is really impressive looking. We got it's okay. I'm thinking maybe this one's better. I don't know. They're really close. I mean, what do you want? These are cheap plastic items here. Let's see what we do have here. So we have our clip-ons. These attached to the grill vent at the top. That's great. And there's our micro SD card slot. Now, I really like having this because there's a million and one uses for it. Using it as a Windows boot disk if you need it in a pinch, or you could use it for ROMs procurement, or even backing up or imaging your own SD card inside the Steam Deck. That's awesome. I love that. I do like how there's a lot of room up here. If you look at the NewQ, I mean, the distance looks about the same, but it's a little more squished, right? So things are pushed a little closer together. If you have some sort of a wide USB-A plug, you might have better luck. I love this Ethernet port. We're going to talk more about the Ethernet port. I know people don't think that's very important, but the Ethernet port is godlike for streaming, whether it's local or whether it's in the cloud, right? You want Ethernet whenever you can. Yeah, I dig this. And I like this little clip guy. It's just long enough to actually plug in, but no longer. So you don't have a cable flopping around. Now, of course, this very tight tolerance, while it looks great, you're not going to be able to get like a magnetic adapter on there and have enough room to plug it in. I know for a lot of you guys, that's not a big deal, but for me, it's not a deal killer, but it's definitely a demerit on this particular device. Whereas with the NewQ Pro, I had no problems with this cable being able to use it with some sort of a magnetic adapter. So, hey, listen, pluses and minuses, right? Pluses and minuses. So let's take a closer look here at the top. Of course, you have your power USB-C plug, and it does recess right in there just fine when you're not using it. That's pretty cool. You can just leave this in. This nasty dangly cord off of the NewQ Pro definitely is sort of a pain if you're going to leave it on all the time. And even though it's wider, I definitely like having a little more space between the plugs. It looks sleek. It clips on well, doesn't block the vent. Yeah, power, PD 3.0 power, HDMI 2.0, 4K 60, 2 USB 3.0 ports, and of course, 1 gigabit Ethernet, and Transflash 3.0 or micro SD on the side to round it off. Yeah, very cool. Let's pop this kickstand out here. And all right. Great, we'll plug a mouse and a keyboard in here. Enjoy my tattoos. All right, there we go. Yeah, mouse and keyboard work. So we've got USB-A for both devices. So we're drawing some power for each one of those, which is important because we need to do a power test to make sure that this guy's passing through the proper power. To do that, of course, we're going to use my cool nifty USB-C multimeter. First things first, we're going to plug in the official OEM power brick. Now this is a 75% charge, so it's going to draw a full amount of wattage to charge, which we expect to be 25, 27, 28, somewhere in there. And as you can see with the official brick, if it would ever focus, it's about 27 watts going in, which is exactly what we would expect it to see. That's good. That's good. All right, now that it's on the official brick and that works, now what we need to do is figure out a way to hook this USB. How are we going to do this? We're going to hook this USB-C multimeter in between, but we're going to have to leave this thing dangling because it's not going to clip on. There's not a lot of room there. And what do we got? 27-ish, 28. Yeah, okay, perfect. Then it's passing through the right amount of power. Now I say this and I'm excited about this because almost every dock that I've tested drops like 5 watts across it. We've got not only across the dock, but we also have the keyboard and mouse that's drawing power too, and it's still doing the right job. This is very exciting to me that we have a dock not only that's this cool, but also passes through the power properly. This is a great thing. We love this. All right, so yeah, so it passes the power test. That was a big one for me because most of them, like I said, most stocks do not fare well with the power test. You can watch my other videos to see that. All right, let's do a little stability test here. It seems to hold on okay. It's pretty good. The NewQ Pro is better, but I don't think this is going anywhere, especially with the weight leaning against the kickstand. It's not going to go anywhere. I just wish it was just a little bit tighter. But listen, that's okay. It still stays on. It still holds on fine. And it might even come off a little bit easier if you're going to bring it on and off a lot. All right, now for our speed test. This is the official dock that I'm plugged into right now, right from Steam. I want to get a baseline on what the official dock will do. Doing our standard speed test. I do have a 1 gigabit connection, and yeah, oh yeah, it's saturating it just fine. Yes, that looks good. This is the official dock, and it's working great. Upload and download speed. All right, great. So this is what we want. So hopefully the Hagibis dock will perform equally as well. That's great. That's a good score. All right, now we're going to do the Hagibis dock. Oh, wait. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Well, listen, there's a margin of error on these things, right? But I'm more than satisfied that this is keeping up just fine. No problems there. Good. Passes the speed test. HDMI, let's be honest, I didn't do a ton. I plugged it in, made sure it did basic 1080p out. If you want to see 4K or something more gruesome than that, more testing, let me know in the comments below. All right, speed test time. So I've got this nice fast SanDisk USB drive. I did a speed test on it right off of one of the USB-A ports, and look at that. Great speeds. More than I expected, actually. Now, here's the NewQ Pro holding the SD card. It doesn't go all the way in. I mean, can you imagine like snagging a wire or something like that and snapping it off? Here's a speed test, by the way, on the NewQ Pro's SD card slot. Now look at this. Nice. It recesses. Not too much where you can't get it out, but far enough in where it's not going to break off if a cable or a cat gets to it, right? So we also need to do a test here. It's almost as good, not quite. Let's put the scores together so you can kind of see. It's within tolerance, right? Maybe give a nod to the NewQ Pro, but not fast enough really to run Windows off of, which is what would be important to me. So what do I think? I think the NewQ Pro has been ousted as the top clip-on dock, and this has taken its place. It's got all the ports that I need. It's got all the functionality I need. It's got the power pass-through. Looks great. Hey, listen, if you like what we're doing here, like, subscribe, hit the bell. You guys know what to do. I'm Shane R. Monroe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and we'll see you next time.